Behind every great finishing process, there is a great system to keep your water clean. Meet the ARS1500, the system that keeps your media sharp, your pH balanced, and your machines running at their best. Now, let's walk through how to start up the ARS1500. Before anything else, you'll need to connect air, water, and power. Quickly, we'll give a closer look on how the power supply is connected. Your two wires will be connected to the CB1 slots, and the third wire will be connected to the ground. At this point, the panel can be closed, the handle turned downwards, and the control screen will turn on. The first screen we'll be looking at is manual controls. Let's take a closer look at the holding tank, which is where the water from your deburring machine goes directly into. It has a usual high level of 85%, which means the system will not allow it to go any higher than 85%, and a low level of 10%, which means the system won't let it drop below that 10%. The reason why is so that the pump doesn't cavitate. Here the holding tank is on the right side. Now on to the process tank, the tank where wastewater meets our treatment powder to make the water recyclable. A couple things to note. It's directly related to the holding tank, and what that means is if the holding tank is full or at 85%, it will transfer wastewater to the process tank to get treated. More on that later. Now it's time to get the clean water tank filled up for the first time. Go to valve controls and press CWT autofill. At this point, the solenoid valve will open and let fresh water flow into the bottom tank. The tank has a high and low sensor, so it doesn't get too low or overflow. So now that we have our clean water tank full, let's make sure our clean water pump is primed so that it can supply water to our deburring machine. We do this by slowly loosening the bolt on top. Once we have it loosened, we start to hand loosen it and wait for a release of air and a gradual stream of water. This will ensure the pump is ready, and now you can tighten the bolt back into position. Now we're going to turn on the pump so we can verify the flow through our UV sanitation system. The light on top signifies that the UV is activated. Let's keep in mind that the clean water pump also pumps clean water through this UV system and recirculates it back into the clean water tank. This helps reduce the microbial growth in the processed water as the days go on. So, now let us visualize a situation. Imagine over the course of a day, the holding tank starts filling up with wastewater, and by the end of the day, it reaches our set full capacity of 85%. We've used most of our clean water supply in our closed loop system now, which means our clean water tank is about halfway filled. At this point, this is when the process tank comes in, which is to the left of the holding tank. It's where the wastewater meets our treatment powder. So we go to the main screen and flip our main switch. Now the holding tank water is transferring to the process tank. Keep in mind, the treatment process doesn't start until the process tank is filled up to 70%. Here we show how the wastewater travels from the holding tank to the process tank. It goes through the bottom of the holding tank, all the way through the mixing pump on the side, and then it comes back up through the top of the process tank. Once it transfers up to 70%, the process can now begin in the process tank. For this example, we shorten the process time so you can see the system quickly cycle through the steps. From the first mix, which ensures that the suspended solids are in solution, to adding the GR20, our treatment powder, through our custom delivery system. After that, we move on to the second mix. And after that second mix, we can continue to the air injection, which helps separate the solids from the clean water. And then finally, we do a final rest. And what this does is it gives it time to separate fully and then filter. So when the process is done on the main screen, this means that the treatment process is done. The screen will tell you to replace the filter and open the drain valve to 30%. What this means is now we are officially going to separate the solids that flocculated from the clean water. We start by opening the top valve, and this helps the majority of the water pass through before the solids cover the filter. After the majority of the water is drained through that top valve, you can open one of the bottom drain valves to remove the settling flock. Having two trays allows you to filter out one batch while another dries. Let's show how the filter paper will be oriented on the trays to give a better visual on how the solids are separated from the clean water. There is a metal grating laid on both trays so that water can easily drain during filtration. Attached, we have a filter paper roll that can be applied to both trays. After laying the filter paper on top of the trays, apply some clips on the ends to ensure the filter stays secure. And an important reminder is to only open the drain valves up to 30%, as this will help maintain a steady flow. After the process tank is drained, the water that passed through the filters is now ready to use, and the filters can be removed and disposed of. To ensure the process tank is thoroughly cleaned, a high-pressure tank rinser is activated to remove any remaining debris. So the treatment process usually takes around 30 minutes, with the majority of the time being the final rest, which takes around 20 minutes. Now the holding and the process tank are nearly empty, and your bottom clean water tank is ready to be used again. And that's the ARS1500 Water Recycling System. Clean water, clean media, clean results.